Welcome in to another fun-filled Power Hour right here on brought to you by the good folks at FreakNet Studios. I'm Steve, along with urban sensation icon C Red. Rion Skills back this week after taking a long winter's nap. Rachel will join us a little bit later on in the show, and we will be joined in the second half of this program by our special guest, superstar Axel Rico, as he gets set to take on Marche Rocket this Friday night at CSW's season premiere. So we got a lot to do tonight there, Red. First of all, FreakNet Studios. You
Yep.
brought us literally to FreakNet Studios. You made the ultimatum on the final show of 2023 at the Roast of C Red, the tribute to C Red, and you said you got to get along, no more show on show bullshit, your words. So I thought, what a better way to pay tribute to you than to join up. We had a great run on Johners, and they've been good to us, and we decided that might be a good time to join forces with our friends at JFW and the other people that are on the FreakNet Studios brand. Last week we did well. They shared. They helped us promote our show, and we did some good numbers last week, Red. So I don't know. I kind of like it so far. What are your thoughts?
I'm not a numbers person. The only numbers I ever get to see is normally on YouTube. So I do this for the fun of it, honestly. Uh,
Well, I mean, of course, the fun is the only reason to do it. But it's nice to have support and somebody behind the scenes sharing us and putting the word out there that every now and again we do some good work.
yeah, like I said, at the whatever you call it, roast, farewell,
The
whatever.
tribute to the incomparable C Red, the
What
man sitting on his throne, receiving his
whatever
action figure at the holiday season. That's what I.
man, that action figure is still wrapped up. Thank you again, Jamie, but it is still wrapped up.
And do you like the new graphic? Because I don't even use your picture. I use
I
the
know you suck. You suck.
dog.
You suck.
No, it's great. I love it. It looks just fucking like you. Very rarely do action figures look exactly fucking like the human being they're supposed. I mean, they knocked that shit right out of the park. That's you. That's little red right there, boy.
Well, that is credit to Vito. So Vito Tomaselli. So
Man,
shout out to
he
him.
hooked you the fuck up. I don't know if I'll ever live a life where somebody's gonna make an action figure out of me, man. That is some rarefied air right there.
Well, again, I've got pops, and this is the first figure I had. I still have a friend. But for years he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do one. I'm gonna do one," and it was like, okay, but I never pushed it. So to you know have one now,
Look at that.
uh,
That's you. Look at that. Look at the stunning detail of that. That is you on a
yeah,
Sunday morning when you're little too much partying the night before, got the big glasses on, kind of smiling, kind of frowning.
I don't. First of all, I don't party, so but that could be me after a show. So
Man, you're rocking that gold. You're like LL right there, bro.
so
Rock
I'm
them
appreciative.
bell.
So it's all good. It's all good. Again, thank you to Jamie and Vito for creating it. You know,
But it's been good, right? I mean, we've all quiet on the Western Front. The great podcast war over. We're all buddies now. It's good times. I didn't get a chance to listen to JFW this morning. Was a little busy with my mom situation. I'm a little bit wrapped up from my usual stuff. But I'm sure it was a great episode. They're still carry on with Fourth Mother Box. I love Fourth Mother Box. I try to listen to that as much as I can. I'm entertained by them. Whenever they put something new out. But there's still something going on between those two guys.
well, and you know, is it them or is it Turtle and Turtle can't let it go?
Or is it PX now? Because PX made a diss track.
Well,
I mean, I not that I mean I would never disparage PX on this show because he's part of this show too. But diss track or piss track, I don't know because that Weird Al's got nothing to worry about
here's my thing. Again, it's all fine and said.
until someone
And
gets shot in a drive-by in Vegas,
right,
like
you
Tupac.
know, like it ain't even, is it that serious? I mean, and maybe that's me. Uh,
I'm not rolling in an SUV down to Shabans with Travis back last year because that was a war, man. That was like East Coast, West Coast back then.
but
I
it
was
made no
scared for
sense.
my life.
At the end of the day, it made no sense. Did it?
It made no sense. But that's often the basis of all the things I do. I create
Well,
stuff out of things that make no sense.
but not just you, but just people in general. Like that's a lot of where uh issues come in that again over nothing. We even in wrestling, all these grudges and all, why are we holding on to this shit? Let this shit go. Like live.
Speaking of grudges, man. Speaking of grudges, this Friday I'm working with somebody that I not very fond of. But he's the big star at CSW Friday. This is the same man that blew that had a booked engagement on the podcast and forgot about it and said, "Oh, my fault, bro."
Who?
Mr. Man of the Hour.
Uh um the short man,
Leo Rush.
Leo Rush.
Yeah, so
Okay, well,
I'm gonna go and do commentary and have to put him over, and that's a conflict of interest for me
why?
because I got rubbed the wrong way when he blew me off like that. I
Hey man,
admittedly we're a small podcast, but Martez, my boy, worked hard to put that together, and that was some BS. But that was a long time ago. Maybe things are a little better now. He's got a seminar coming up tomorrow, and the kids are excited about that. And you know what? The people are
is
loving
it
the fact that
tomorrow?
Friday. I'm sorry, Friday.
Okay, I was getting ready to say, like, hold
People
on.
are very excited that he's there, but
Well, I mean, there's
should I
always,
like not be? Should I be like? Should I hide my feelings and just punch through it and be cool and stuff? Is that what I should do?
why not? I mean, because what's the sense? Here's my
You're right,
thing.
Red. Then you're right. What is the sense? You're right. That, that's
Because
that's
I'm
that's
I'm
that's fair advice.
sure um at this point he done forgot about it.
Oh, I
You're
don't
the
think
only
he ever.
one
I don't
on.
think he ever knew about it in the. I don't think he ever gave a crap about it in the first place. That's what the
I'm
that's what,
not gonna say, I'm not even gonna say he didn't care. He agreed to it, but shit, if he had something else come up, you know, he was
Here's the
like, oh,
thing. Here's the thing. On this show, if a guest cancels because something comes up, we don't pay our guests. They come in out of the goodness of their heart, out of the relationships that we have with them. And, obviously the whole thing is to put them over. We talk about their stories, we talk about their histories. And, some of it, most of the time it's like great. Like when Shaq Jordan, opened up and told us all those things. I mean, it's therapeutic for him and it makes us treasure the human being more. So I think this show is one of those places where, you get a chance to take a look behind the character that you see flying around in the squared circle.
right,
And when we booked the man of the hour on our show, he was paid and didn't show. Now, eventually, the money came back, so it's not like he took the money and ran like others do. So, I mean, I guess you respect the man for that, but never really were even given a reason. So it was a little salty for a few years there for me. But Red, you're right. Life's too short to hold grudges, isn't it?
very much so. And I mean, again, my issue, um, that's where we're at in this world. People hold grudges and hold grudges for too long.
I want
You
that.
know, fuck around, fine.
Yeah,
Um,
that's Riyadh's new hat for 2024. Don't mess with the real deal, bro.
And
He's
my
on a
thing
different level.
is,
He's on a different level right now.
I don't blame him. I mean, again, we sit back and we hold on to shit, you know, we hold on to shit that this person said or this person did. Why? Because you're holding on to it 9 times out of 10, they done forgot about it, you know.
Well, I don't think I was ever even a blip on the radar of the man of the hour. So, if he was ever to hear something like this, it would be like, huh?
So,
Hey, look at that. You got a little Justin art there, right there, huh? How much do you love that kid out in Rocket Bro?
oh, everybody loves Justin.
He is everywhere and everywhere you want to be. He's a good people. He's a big fan of yours, Red. But then again, everybody's a big fan of yours, Red. And right now, we are going to welcome into this program our favorite knockout. It is Russian Blue, Cactus Rack, Sedusa, whatever she wants to be called. You will call her that, or she will kick your ass right up and down the street. The lovely Rachel. Hello, Rachel.
Hello, hello, hello. How are we?
Oh, we are doing just fine. We're kind of easing into the power hour. We're talking a little bit about FreakNet Studios and our new home there. Talking a little bit about you know, rivalries and beefs a little bit. And
Oh, I missed the beef.
well, we got a special guest Friday night at CSW that I have a little eh, I guess it's not even really anything anymore. It was so long ago
Who?
and doesn't really matter.
Who?
Rion right there on point, bringing the man of the hour back, Leo Rush.
Oh, you have beef with Leo Rush.
Well, I would call it beef. He would call it nothing. We had him booked on the gorilla position a few years back, and he no showed us. And we
Oh.
paid him for his time, and eventually we got the money back, which was fine. But it was one of those things where we promoted the absolute piss out of it for weeks. And to be left in the lurch, it's just not a cool thing. And if you just said, "Hey, had a sick family member, had this, had that," cool if it's something. But there was never really any. We were never dignified with a, "Hey, this is why I couldn't make it. Can we do it again?" It was just kind of, "Nope, can't do it. Here's your money back. Bye."
Yeah. I'd be mad too.
Eh,
Common courtesy.
Red's right though. It's stupid to hold grudges, and
Yeah.
every once in a while on this show, Red puts on his uncle hat and uh teaches us all life lessons.
Well, it ain't so much as a life lesson. Well, I guess it is a life lesson. But again, I like earlier, we were talking about the Cowboys, and I told you where my disdain came from.
How about them Cowboys?
Hey, they
Smile
sitting
at
at home.
Turtle.
They
Smile at
sit.
Turtle.
Hey, Turtle. Cheers, Turtle.
Poor
Um,
Turtle.
you know, um, and it came from my ex best friend, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, um, I don't wish him ill will. Um, wish no harm on him. Hope he's living his best life. You know, wrong picture, wrong picture. Like you need that picture that I posted.
I love that. I stole that and shared it.
So,
What about Bill Belichick going to coach Cowboys next year? I don't know how you fire Mike McCarthy after 3 consecutive 12-4 seasons.
well, but that's not where he's rumored to go. He's rumored to go. He hasn't had an interview with Dallas, but he has had one with Atlanta. So,
Oh, he wants to
uh,
go to Hot Land and wants to bring QB1 down there with him.
so
Did you hear that shit? The latest, they're going to trade with Atlanta, get JF out of town, and take their eighth pick. So the Bears have the 1, 8, and 9 picks in the draft.
nah, nah.
You know,
I'm like everybody else at this point. I just want to see how the draft plays out.
yeah, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So Saturday night was one of the coldest, treacherous, risky drives I've ever made in my life. And we'll talk about that in a minute. This past Saturday night, I was up in Marshfield, Wisconsin. I was with Rachel's better half, the Hot Rod Daddy Andy, as we were doing frontline pro wrestling things.
My what?
Your
Uh-oh.
other half, not better. That's me.
Mm.
That's on me. That's on me. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you
Don't
had
have
something.
beef with me now, Rachel. Come on. It
Boy,
was the tongue.
I thought you really stepped in it. I
She
was
was
like,
about
what?
to kick me right in the face with a skate. So we had
I kick you in the face with the boots that I was wearing on Saturday night.
those were some fucking impressive boots. Now, this is why, you played it down. There's not really much to say, but listen, we have been tooting this horn for more than a year now. Ain't no party like a knockouts party. And here's why. Because the season hasn't even started yet. The season premiere is in February. The first bout of the year for the primetime league, for the premium league. And in January, the Knockouts had this party, but it wasn't just a party, and it was at Rabid Brewing, which is their sponsor, and it's a lovely place to catch a drink and meet friends. It's a really cool place to go. But they had this party there, and the theme of the party was they all swapped personalities. So the Knockouts came to this party dressed as the personas of each other. And the pictures are just amazing. I'm thinking about the picture I saw with Coach Punchy and Marley Quinn. Sorry, I had a brain cramp there for a moment. Dressed up like Jen and Tonic and why am I just shooting blanks here? It's ridiculous. Help me, Rachel.
The Crimson Vixen.
Yes, thank you. Yes. God, why is it's been a long month. I'll share my stories of my hell month a little bit later on, but it's needless to say, I'm a little scatterbrained these days. But that's the one. That's the picture I'm talking about. On the one side is the actual Jen and Tonic and the actual Crimson Vixen. And on the other side is Marley Quinn and Punchline dressed as those two, emulating that picture in the exact fucking same spot. And that is unfucking believable.
Yeah, I guess that people were so fooled that there was a point when someone saw Marley sitting on her husband Eddie's lap and thought that it was Gin and Tonic and was about to make a ruckus. But it was Marley dressed as Gin and Tonic.
That is cosplay at its finest. And Gin and Tonic honored Russia Blue.
Yes.
And look,
Gin and Tonic, I think, is the superior Russian Blue. So, but
I don't know, you guys and everybody. I mean, Beetlejuice dressed up as Judgment Dave was straight up fire.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then Judgment Dave was Ricky Ricochet.
Right.
And Eurothrash was Beetlejuice.
Who are you?
I was Disorderly Conduct.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. So I was wearing I don't have a lot of clothes left from my metal days when I was going to shows all the time. So I was wearing Andrew's Dale Earnhardt battle vest. It has like the Intimidator and like the 3 and everything, and like a vintage Metallica shirt. So yeah, I was Disorderly Conduct.
And every photograph that I saw from the party just made me wish I wasn't 5 hours away in the Arctic temperature. There it is. There's the whole collection of them. That just look at that cast of characters. That fucking party was on fire. That bar was rocking till the wee hours. And we actually played a game on social media similar to Where's Waldo, and it was Where's Rion. Can you see him, Red? Can you
Of
find out
course.
where's
The crazy part is, like, as soon as they posted the picture, I found it. Like, it's not hard. I hate to say it. Hate to be. I'm not trying to be racist.
come on
He's,
now? You're not gonna
but he's
go
the black
there.
guy. He's the black guy. Like,
Come
come
on.
on.
Come on.
How can you not find the black guy
He's
in
more
this?
mocha than black, actually, right? Let's be honest.
Okay, how can you not find the African American in this
Well,
photo?
the earth tones in the bar hide him. It's like a chameleon.
No, no.
That's right. We just used the term earth tones on this show. Hooray for us. Another milestone on the Power Hour. Yeah, there it is. There's the close
There's
up.
the close up. So then that's the real disorderly conduct to his left. But you can't.
Okay.
She was Marth Vader.
Okay.
Of all the parties to miss, I think I would have enjoyed this one the most, because if I had gotten to be a part of it, I would have tried to dress up like Mouthpiece. I would have gotten a full on, bald.
Well, you didn't get to choose, so you may have had to come dressed as me.
I would have totally done it. I would have had to come to your house and you would have had to put together the outfit, but I would have totally done it.
I could have done it. So.
I know you would have, and we would have had a great, like I said, I love, hanging out with these people it's like one big family, and they're all so much fun. And there's Judgment Dave and Eurothrash played the night. I mean, look at Ricky Ricochet, for Christ's sake. I mean, that she has got the swagger of Eurothrash on lock.
You also missed Judgment Dave as Ricky Ricochet singing Euro Trash Girl by Cracker.
Oh,
that 10-minute long album version on karaoke.
You cannot put a price tag on that kind of entertainment quality.
So, Rachel, let me ask a question. How did you guys pick who was who?
It was randomized. It was thrown into a randomizer, and everybody got what they were given.
Okay, so one person put it all, and just this is who you get.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Let me ask you this, Rachel. When you saw Jen dressed up like you in tribute, I mean, that had to make you feel great, didn't it?
Yes. Why wouldn't it?
Because I mean, it was so well done and well put together. I just, someone like you who is very theatrical and artistic and appreciates this. I mean, it's the effort that went into all of these women, putting together these outfits and these costumes to look so authentically like each other. That is amazing to me.
I'm actually making some changes to my costume because of her costume as me.
Yeah, she looked fantastic, and she's one of the nicest ladies to boot. So that's
unfortunately I cannot go braless. I'm sorry to bring everybody down, but I need a pulley to hold these up, so I cannot do the justice that she did.
So are you making an accusation that she went
it's not an accusation. There are pictures. You can tell.
Listen, I'm not I can't authenticate anything. I don't know.
Rian, can you show a picture of Gin and Tonic's entire outfit?
You're making Rian work hard. See, Rian's muttering under his breath, "Damn it, why do they make me work?"
He's like, I'm not supposed to.
I mean, I thought they had the hair down. I mean, look at that is such a fantastic I mean, that it's just so good on so many levels. I'm so sad that I didn't get the chance to be there, but on the other hand, some of the things that happened at Frontline Pro were absolute magic as well. So as bad as I felt that I didn't get to see the knockouts in person doing what they do best, entertaining, because that's what you did. You entertained. I would have been so incredibly entertained just people watching. And I'm sure Rian was absolutely he was so happy to be there behind the shadows like he always is, just watching the goings on, because you're
oh no, he was dealing with drunk Rachel.
Oh, you were
so we were sitting in a corner talking about wrestling. Yep. That was our
well,
night.
that too is another reason to be disappointed that I couldn't make it, because that would have been fun.
Yeah.
But
And
I'll
I
tell
can
you
keep
what.
and all I hear Rihanna say is fair enough.
Yeah, that's all. That's what he does. Like I
Yeah.
said, he's working on his exit plan. So he's trying to keep things down. He's trying to keep things short and to the point. He's trying to wrap all his packages. So at the end of the year, when he walks off into the sunset, like Jay and Silent Bob at the end of Strikes Back, that's what he's looking for. But I'm
You
not sure
heard
he
there's a
wants.
new one coming out, right?
Yeah, of course I do. You know
Oh,
what I
okay.
just watched the other night because I saw it was on there and I just had to watch it. Fucking watched Mallrats, dude. That
I
movie
did too.
that
I
movie
did too.
is still fucking fire after all these years. I mean, it's hokey in parts, but you know, when Priscilla Barnes is the fortune teller, that scene still pops me as a fan.
Dude, to watch Ben Affleck then
As a rapist,
and then watch him now as Batman. Like, okay,
100% different, right? There's the full
okay,
on that's Jen and Tonic as Russian blue.
wow. Yeah, she don't have a bra.
Well, then Red would know. Red's much more experienced at these things than I am.
Yeah. Woo!
Are
Yeah,
you going to
you made
wear
it.
like big furry boots and a big furry hat now? Because that is quite a
Yes,
Russian look.
I am going to.
I think that's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. Is that going to happen in February?
I don't think the Crushers are playing in February.
Oh, so it's going to be Sedusa in February.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that day that's just as good. So,
And you,
fantastic.
just to make sure I heard you right, Rachel, you said you were wearing a bra, right?
Yes, I have to.
Damn.
So
Come on,
I
Red. Some professionalism, please.
Hey, man. Shit, I ain't dead.
That's fair. You aren't
I
dead, right?
unfortunately
Red loves
have
the tatas.
I'm more closer to udders at this point, which is
Hey,
what happens when you've had double D since you were 15. But moving
hey, I love them.
on.
Oh, Red collects them like bottle caps, but that's neither
I
here
wish
nor
I
there.
did. I wish you really could.
You should. You should. You
I
find
would
a
have a whole,
you
all of
go
this would
all of
just
them.
be filled. Yes,
This is
yes.
yeah, we're getting canceled. This the last episode of the Power Hour, just so you know. But boy, you know, watching all watching everybody sharing stuff online about the party that happened Saturday night at Rabid Brewing made me very excited for the debut of 2024 of the Knockouts coming out next month. So I'm looking even more. I wasn't looking forward to it before. Now I can't wait to do it because
So when's the next show?
it is February. Hang on, I have it in here.
24th.
Yes, what she said. February. Red, come on out.
I'm putting in the calendar now,
Embrace
sir.
the tatas, as you say.
I'm putting it in the calendar now. I have nothing to do.
Hey, Rachel, do you think Red's girlfriend will be healthy by then?
Um,
Who is Red's girlfriend?
Megatron.
right. I want to know.
Megatron? I don't know.
Your girl got hurt.
Oh no, say it
Yeah.
ain't so.
Was it a knee injury, Rachel? She said
It
something
was a
happened to
knee
her leg or her
injury.
knee, right?
She broke her kneecap, yeah.
Broke her knee.
Oh
Or
shit.
fractured her kneecap, yeah. In like the first jam. And she didn't skate for the rest, but she stayed upright. And she waited until the next day to go to the ER. I don't know how she did that because I
She
sprained
is.
my ankle and I was drugged up in the emergency room.
She is fearsomely tough, and we hope Megatron returns, especially if C Red's going to be there. Because when C Red and Megatron met at Crash Tested, Red was doing the licking of the fingers and combing the eyebrows to the side. You know that whole
Yeah.
move.
I vaguely recall this.
Yeah, that's what he did. But anyway, Rachel, you said nothing much happened. You're a dead liar. That was an amazing party.
Yeah, you missed me caterwauling Cher's turn back time on karaoke.
If I was there, I would have gotten up on stage with you and sang that shit.
I gave them an option. I said you can have country cactus or you can have Cher cactus, and they chose Cher. So
Unbeknownst to you, probably, I am a big Cher fan. So I could go toe to toe with you on Turn Back Time.
Oh,
I
Also,
don't
that's
know.
save
only
up all your
because
I don't know
tears.
if you can outshine me.
I
that's
could
only
save up
because
all
we
your
grew
tears.
up. We grew
Huh?
up with Cher. We grew up with Cher.
We did.
You know,
Cher with those tattoos on that battleship back in '89. Yeah, that
you
was
know.
good times for the kids.
Even before that, when it was the Cher and Sunny show, you know.
I liked glam metal Cher when she was doing all the Bon Jovi and Michael Bolton songs at the time. That was some good stuff. Save
Well,
all your tears. If you've never heard that song by Cher, that's the ultimate breakup fuck you song. So check it out on Spotify or wherever you download your music. Perhaps iTunes. But that's neither here nor there.
Yeah,
So
I'm gonna check what exact teams are playing on the 24th.
it's the Haunters versus the Punishers, correct?
I believe so. I'm making sure.
Haven't seen a graphic yet because I would have shared that already.
It is Hunters versus Punishers. So everybody wear your green gear.
I will be rocking my green shirt that I just got for Christmas time. So I will make sure that I stand and deliver for the Haunters. But like I said, I was not able to be at that splendid role reversal party, which looked like so much fun. But I did get to see, and everybody always says this. I've heard it.
Oh, real quick, I helped put out a fire at the party.
You did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, okay,
Rian,
now
I
you
don't
got
know
my
if you
attention.
knew, Rian, I don't even know if you knew about this, but it was a potluck and the candles under one of the dishes overextended itself and set the tablecloth on fire. So Euro Thrash and I were doing the most to prevent it from spreading. I did burn my thumb, but I'll live.
Ain't
So
no
yeah, you missed
party like a
a lot.
knockout party.
Yep, and that was before I started drinking. So all right,
What
moving
were you
on.
drinking?
Continue.
What were you drinking?
I had a Savior, and I had I don't remember what the second drink was.
What's
The
a
first one was
Savior?
a Savior. It had grapefruit in it, and the second was something with cranberry. They were real good.
You only had 2 drinks and you were gone?
Yep.
Well, okay.
Yeah.
out for drinks.
Prior to having Hazel, I could drink most people under the table. Like I don't know if you've ever been to Roscoe's in Boys Town, but like they give you a pitcher of drinks, and like 7 cups to share, and I would just stick a straw in the pitcher and walk around with that all night. That would kill me now. I would die. So yes, 2 drinks.
2 drink
2
minimum.
drinks.
What
Yeah.
are we looking at there that Rion just pulled up? Yet another picture of more engaging knockouts. There's Ricky Ricochet again.
Well, no, that's Eurothrash.
That's
Ricky Ricochet.
Eurothrash.
And then in the background is Vamp as Grumpy Bear. And I don't think Loretta came as anybody. I think Loretta was just Loretta. And that's Batty in a really cute vintage outfit in the back, and one of our fight reps.
All the stars were out.
Yep.
So before we go in to talk about the Frontline show, what do you see happening in 2024 with the knockouts? Who do you think is what team is going to come out on top this year?
I think the Crushers are going to come back and take the title back from the Haunters, because you have to remember that Haunters is my secondary team, and I was out the second half of the season.
Yes.
Had I not been out, the Crushers would not have been out in the first round of playoffs.
You might be right. So you're looking for a little got to come back and reestablish yourselves.
Yes, I have to reestablish the pecking order of the teams. Crushers on top.
Crushers on top. It's going to be a hell of a season. All your favorite characters are going to be back. And aside from missing, I think, one show in October, I will get to see most all of the knockouts this year. We'll be doing commentary for. So I retired a little bit from some other promotions, so I didn't have so many conflicts this year. So I look forward to a very long, excellent season. I'm actually hoping I get to an after party or two because I've missed several, and things are starting to stabilize a little bit, so I might actually be able to go out and see the chaos for myself firsthand.
Yep.
Although, you're right. You get in there and everybody's kind of in their own little group, and I'm just kind of this guy, so I just kind of sit there and kind of watch, and people come up and say hi every now and again. So yeah, maybe I'll broaden my horizons this year.
Yeah, maybe I'll show up and sit in the corner by myself as usual.
Well, we can sit in the corner by ourselves together.
Okay, sounds good.
That's a deal. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about Frontline Pro from Saturday night. First of all, the 4.5-hour drive to Marshfield, Wisconsin. In the summer or the fall, it's a picturesque drive. It's not real bad, but in the winter, it is laughable. Now, the ride up wasn't bad. And because of my mother's situation, I had to go solo. Usually I ride with Andy and Muggsy and various people, but I wasn't sure I was going to be able to stay for the whole show because I'm kind of on call right now. But the family said, you need to take some time and go do something for yourself. So it was decided that I would go honor this booking rather than cancel. So I went up there, and the ride up was good. Weather was good. The streets were clear. Took me less time than normal. I got to the show actually early, so I was able to help with setup and do some other things. So it went real good at the start. And then as the show was going on, the temperature started to drop and the wind started to pick up. And the ride home took me just a little over 5.5 hours. So when I roll in my house at 3:45, that sucked. But I'm glad I went for the reason that I got to see the main event. And you hear people all the time, you hear people online, you read people's reviews, 5-star matches, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen, etc., etc. I'm here to tell you that in the going on now 11 years that I have been doing pro wrestling commentary and all the years that I've been watching pro wrestling, the main event at Frontline Pro Wrestling this past Saturday night in Marshfield, Wisconsin at Justice for All might be the single greatest one-on-one match that I have ever watched. Now, I go back to when I was a younger man, and there was a match that the WWE had. It was Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in a ladder match. Red, you remember that match, right?
Of course.
That's one of the great matches of all time, correct?
I would say so, yeah. It was the conception of the ladder match.
Right. So whenever somebody says, what's the greatest wrestling match you've ever seen? I tend to go back to that one because I never saw anything like it. I never saw people take the brutality like they took it that night because they were using ladders like I worked with. And I know how hard those ladders are. And those ladders don't give. They may, you may, your whole wrestling is fake nonsense. You get hit with a ladder that people actually can climb, that hurts like a motherfucker. Taking down Christmas lights, if that ladder bangs you in the head accidentally, you stop and pause and you lick your wounds for a while. So when I saw Michaels and Razor do that, that to me was one of the great things I'd ever seen. And then I saw Shaq and Quinn mix it up Saturday night at Marshfield at the Bakersville bar. I've seen Shaq and Quinn fight each other before. But there was something about what they were doing this night that was different than anything I'd see them do. It was intense, athletic, theatrical. The amount of wow moments in the match, I was keeping a running ledger with tick marks, and I had 12 tick marks of times that I went, oh my God. The match ends, and they get on the mic, and each of them have something to say that really, at that point, separated this moment in time from anything else that I've seen. Quinn paying respect to Shaq for beating him. He had been the frontline champion for 520 days. And then if you haven't heard Shaq Jordan's testimonial that has been recorded by people and is available for view on Facebook and Instagram. It's out there. Publicly addressing his mental health issues and how something occurred toward the end of last year that I wasn't even aware of. And the amount of grace and the amount of compassion and heart that those two kids showed. And then the locker room comes out and everybody's in tears. I don't think I have ever been involved in a more emotional moment in wrestling. And I've been there, honoring people after they've passed. And those get pretty touching and pretty sad, especially when family members are there. There was something special about this match. And when it comes on the premier streaming network, do yourself a favor and jump on there, start a subscription and watch it. And Premier just changed their rules. So it's not going to be a $5.99 a month thing anymore. It's going to be free to join, and they will have some pay-per-view shows. And at this point, I don't think Crossfire is going to be a pay-per-view situation. So if you download the Premier app when the new one comes up, you should be able to get the Crossfire shows for free, and you can see all the great things that are happening at Frontline Pro, and you can watch this episode that has this match, because I'll tell you what, I'm still in awe of the performance they put on. Both of them are talented. Both of them are great. Red, we've watched Quinn and we've watched Shaq for a long time now, but they transcended. They went beyond themselves. They leveled up, and it was absolutely beautiful. Red, you would have loved it, and Rion would have been so proud. It was an absolutely magical moment. So,
well, can't be shocked. I mean, like you said, we've seen both of them before. And it's kind of funny. We've been saying it since the light incident, that Shaq is on this whole new field now. So I can only see 2024 being, both of their years, because both of them have taken their game to another, as you said, level. So I don't see them sticking around Illinois in the Midwest too much longer. So
they certainly honored their profession, honored their careers, and honored each other with a performance that will go down for me as absolutely timeless. I will look back on this match years from now saying, that's the best match I ever saw. And people are going to say, Steve, your job is to put people over. All you do is sing people's praises, blah, blah, blah. Maybe if we were all a little more like that, the world would be a little bit better fucking place. But realistically speaking, the enjoyment, the entire commentary team, and we had a 3-man commentary booth there this past Saturday. My partner and I, Chris Lockman, we do a bulk of the work, but now we're working with a member of Stryker Industries, Aaron Arsenal, who is a magnificent talent unto himself. And after it was over, we were sitting there blown away, and we were talking, this is the best thing we've ever seen. And we were all in agreement. So I know it was not just me. And then we talked to people after the show, people that were in there. They had a newsman named Dale Ryman who was completely engrossed in that moment. Ben, the proprietor, he was in awe of the performance. He cried. Bulletproof Ben doesn't cry very often, but he was in tears during the Shaq Jordan speech. It was very emotional. It was very theatrical, and it was must-see stuff. So when this match gets out and you can watch this match, please watch it because it's great. But that's not the only thing that happened Saturday night in Marshfield. A lot of things happened. I saw Kid Lat mad, angry, vindictive, embracing a dark side that I didn't know he had. He had a grudge match against Rockin' Rivera. He and Rockin' Rivera have been at each other's throats for the last several months, and this was it, the match to end all matches. Kid Lat leveled up. Now, Rockin' Rivera is a great worker. He is a great professional wrestler. And to this point, even though he's taken some losses, he has had the upper hand on Lat for the most part. Lat came and brought the thunder. The Lightning Kid brought the thunder. I mean, you can see it on a poster, but it was an amazing match, and Kid Lat got the best of Rockin' Rivera on this night. So that was a pretty cool thing to see. Our friend EJ Swanson, who's been on this show, Red, you know EJ. He is the new Intrepid champion at Frontline Pro. And he issued an open challenge. Anybody that was in the locker room from any place, any time, I could have gotten up and challenged him. Anybody could do it. Guess who did it? One of your nephews.
Oh, Paragon.
No.
Oh,
Well, maybe he's like a cousin because, he is he was certainly very prominent in the 80s.
I have no clue.
The 80s, baby.
Oh, okay.
T-Dub. T-Dub came out, and a few months before, TW3 had an emotional farewell to Frontline Pro because of his commitments to OVW and what he was doing out there. He wasn't going to be around. Well, it turns out some things changed, and T-Dub was back. And T-Dub and EJ Swanson got involved in a match that I thought was going to be over. When TW3 came out and accepted the challenge, I'm like, well, EJ Swanson's going to get his ass kicked. There's no way that young lion could hang with somebody like TW3. That match almost went to time limit. Every time TW3 got him down and out and you thought it was over, somehow that kid kicked out. So now I have to look at EJ Swanson a little bit differently because he became something different. He was incredible. And because, TW3 is one of the best out there right now. And EJ Swanson gave him what for, but it was not enough. There is a new Intrepid champion, and that is the 80s, baby, TW3. So that means he's back at Frontline. So that's a good thing. That's good for business for everybody. So that was fun. And then all sorts of other crazy things happened. Like, I'm sure Rachel heard about Andy's situation. The match was set, Ewok was set to defend his Frontline battle title. And we weren't sure who he was fighting because, the weather made, people have to stay home. Paragon was supposed to be at this show, and he and his people got stuck somewhere in Indiana because of the weather. So Ewok wasn't sure who he was facing, but he ended up facing Ragnar the Ruthless and Hot Rod Daddy Andy in a triple threat match for the ages. And it had a very controversial ending. Ewok went for the pin, and I think the referee counted 1, 2, 3, and right before her hand hit, there was a kick out that I don't think she saw, and Ewok got the win. So I don't know what that's going to mean for next month as things come to a head. But what a great triple threat match that it was. And then, of course, Ken Anderson, you can see him right there, Mr. Anderson. We've watched superstars come to various promotions and make guest spots. Some of them are very gracious. Some of them aren't. Some of them will stay and talk, and some of them won't. Someone will be giving of their time and knowledge, and some of them absolutely are asshats. This is the second time I've worked with Ken Anderson, and he was even better this time than he was the first time at CSW. He was there early. He was there with everybody, and you know, it was an amazing thing. He fought Ben Evenson for the battle tested championship, and he and Ben put on a show. The crowd loved it. Ben retained. Ken Anderson shook his hand in the ring, and then they were attacked by evil beings, and they ended up whipping everybody's ass, getting some help from some friends, and that was what it was. It was a show that probably should have been canceled, but the house was packed. The card, although it changed, was still great. And what a night in Marshfield, Wisconsin.
Okay.
So that is pretty cool. Hang on one second.
Well, I'll just say that it's no shock that all our boys from down here are making noise out in other places because they're great talent to work with. So no shock that Frontline Pro put on a great card despite the weather, you know. So kudos to them.
Well, thank you, and I'll make sure, you know, maybe somebody will watch this show and you'll see it. But joining us right now, a man that really needs no introduction. I call him the mayor of Puerto Rico, but he's so much more than that. Joining us on the Power Hour once again is our good friend, the one, the only, Axel Rico. Hello,
Hello, is
Axel.
this thing on?
It's on.
I am live from the Bosnatorium. We're currently at a practice right now, but I knew I had to get back on the Power Hour, so here I am.
Well, hey, thank you for taking time out of your busy training schedule, training the next generation of CSW superstars. Do you ever sit there and think to yourself, I was once in their shoes, and now I'm one of the biggest stars in the CSW galaxy? Do you look at them like any of them could be the next Axel Rico story?
Well, I hope not. I hope everybody their own adventures and ways to mess up. You know, I would say something else, but I hope that they find their mess ups. They find their what works for them and what makes them love love the business like I do. And I hope they find those loops and hurdles, because if it weren't for all those loops and hurdles and all that, I wouldn't be the Axel Rico you know as Axel Rico.
Well, your reputation precedes you, young man. You have achieved success everywhere you've gone. But I want to talk about the injury. Take us back to the moment that you were hurt. How does it happen? When did it happen? Where did it happen?
I believe it was.
Was he?
Well, how's it going, C-Red? Sorry, I also wanted to say hello to everybody here.
I'm sorry. I just wanted. I know you don't have a lot of time, but we have so many things to talk about. Go ahead, say hi to the friends. Say hi to the boys.
Hi, everybody. I just wanted to. I forgot. It's just not a conversation between me and Steve, because like me and Steve can chat for hours. Steve and my dad can chat for hours. So like I don't want to be very selfish and forget everybody else that's part of making this show possible. But yeah, so we'll go back. It was I believe June of last year. I was wrestling, and just there's this thing called everybody thinks wrestling is fake, and of course but things definitely do happen. It is very real, and just because of a little miscommunication. Something happened. I felt something in my shoulder immediately feel weird. I didn't know what it was at the time. But being the person that I am, I'm not the type of person to say, stop. I was thrown to a corner and I tried to lift myself up, kind of like a tricep extension, to like lift my body up to kick over somebody's head. I lost complete strength over my left shoulder. And I still had to fight, and I ended up still winning the match by stomping this individual's head onto the mat, but then had to immediately be rushed to the ER because I definitely there was a huge something popping out of my skin. After a few x-rays and going to some professionals, I found out that my clavicle had been shattered into 5 pieces. I needed surgery immediately. The doctor said that it was so bad they had to remove debris in my clavicle. And at that time, I just had so many things planned. I was given the opportunity to wrestle in Canada, working with Gali Lucha. They were about to give me the opportunity to go to Mexico, and of course, with a shattered clavicle, I'm not going anywhere. I couldn't do any, pretty much anything with this shoulder and upper body. What the doctor told me was what originally, if it was just they first thought while looking at it, it was just the popped clavicle. Like sometimes it'll come out kind of like how a shoulder might pop out. And they told me originally 5 to 8 weeks. It turned into 7 to 8 months. So it was a big shock to the system. No wrestling pun intended. But I knew, I knew it was bad. Of course, it's not the news that you want to hear that, but that's why I love this business so much, because there's more things to do than just the in-ring stuff. So I found myself helping out in the back. I was helping with music at multiple shows. I was helping people put matches together, and slowly but surely, like in that little highlight reel of my 7 months and 7.5 months off, I should say. That's how I see it. It was just a 7.5 month vacation. I made a little, slowly but surely getting better, little highlight video and the things I had to do. And I will admit, Steve, I came back way too early because I knew CSW was having their season finale. That was my goal, to come back. Let's just say the hate keepers, were causing so much commotion, and I knew I wanted to go back. I got my ass kicked, but I somehow still won. But I am very proud to say I've been cleared since about late October, early November, and I've been pushing. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. And things have just been going great. I'm feeling strong again. I'm leading classes again, and I feel like I can go back to a full schedule, and I feel so good right now, Steve, and everybody here. And I'm very excited to kick off 2024 as a new redo of me.
Axel Rico 2.0.
Right.
A lot of people, that's a career-ending injury. That is not an injury that's easy to come back from, especially because of your skill set and what you do in the ring. The rehab, I have to imagine, was grueling, painful. I mean, it took a long time. How did you get through it? I mean, were the dark days where maybe you weren't feeling so great? Did you feel like maybe I'm not going to get there, or were you always like, I'm going to fucking get there?
Oh, I knew sooner or later, no matter how, even if it would have taken 2 years of rehab, I knew I would have somehow gotten back into the ring in some way. My orthopedic doctor said I was a madman because I never was in any pain. I never screamed. The only part that was really painful was the day after my surgery, because the funny thing is now for the rest of my life, I have about an 8-inch scar on my shoulder, and I have a ginormous steel plate with 8 screws in me. The doctor said, if you work with magnets, I'd quit your job, which I don't. I do wrestling. I hit people instead, and they hit me. But I just knew I never went through any pain. It was just one of those moments that I knew, I had to hold my wrist or hold my whole arm like this for months. I was just being patient because the great thing that I had the best support system in the absolute world. You're one of them. See Red, every single person right there hitting themselves in the ring was just being like, dude, when you come back, hey, you got this. Hey, you got this. So I was never down. I was never in pain. And I knew the second I could do, like, even if it's just, you know what I mean, like pushing my toes just like this to slowly get back into the wheelhouse of like any progress is good progress. I knew I had a great support system over here. I had the great attitude, and here I am, and I feel excellent.
Well, you look great, and you're going to need to be in great shape with the match they've put you in to start off 2024, correct, that bastard TJ Steele. Before we get to that, you know, you have a great support system, and you're right about that. But, you know, they say a man is only as great as the woman that stands behind him, propping him up. So we got to give Lauren some props here. I'm sure she was instrumental in your recovery.
Lauren, and to all the people there, or what some of you know her as Torn Page, which has been my manager at some of the shows. She is probably the light at the end of the that has been my support system. Even though after this injury, she has now retired from wrestling because she never wants to see that ever again.
Well, Torn Page could come out and play every now and again. She's quite the sinister manager. I think Red would like her.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, see, Red, I might have to send you some clips of Torn Page. If you look at my Facebook profile, we look pretty fierce, and that's just, and we'd make a pretty good package deal. But no, absolutely. Lauren is a wonderful human being. She is, like, we always tell each other, we are each other's best cheerleaders. Like, because she is tearing it up right now. She's with Babes with Blades in Chicago, doing theater, doing stand-up, doing comedy, everything in the Chicagoland area. So every time that she has a stand-up show or a theater show, I'm there, front row seat. And every time she's at a CSW show, front row seat, rocking with the people, partying with the people, saying hello to just like everyone. CSW, Galley, all the things that I'm a part of, everything that she does, we help each other out, and we are absolutely, boom, we're partners for life. And, you know, of course, I took her to Puerto Rico and I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. So,
and that just congratulations. I mean, that was inevitable. I got to spend an entire wedding with you two people, and you guys are the most annoyingly sweet couple I've ever seen in my life. It makes you believe in Hallmark, watching Axel Rico and Torn Page carry on as a couple. It's really beautiful.
My buns are still sore from dancing that long, all night long, from that wedding.
It was a Jack Moody production. You knew it was going to be great.
Yeah.
So now you're back, and you've gone through hell in a handcart. And our bastard GM TJ Steele decides, you know what? Let's not give somebody to Axel Rico to fight that is, you know, a bad guy. Let's give him the best guy. Let's give him Marche Rocket to fight. So who are the fans going to cheer? You know, the house is going to be split right down the damn middle. And I think that does a disservice to you and to Marche Rocket. Or does it make the house just that much more electric?
Well, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but there are only two people in that entire locker room I have never faced. And that is Steve Boz and Marche Rocket. So this Friday, I get to finally check that off my list. And, like, you know, when I first came through, he was that's the guy who I want to be, you know, or like strive to be, because C-Red saw something in him. I saw the way he just treats himself in the ring. The fact that he, you know, even when all the cards are against him, he believes in his willpower to get back up, to feed off the people and become Marche Rocket. That's the person who I saw as like my example of who I want to be. When I saw myself as a champion, he was like, just make yourself one promise. However you want to be a champion, be that champion until the day you die. So I never asked for backup. I never asked for any help. I took things over, and I felt after becoming the CSW champion, I left a good, you know, like that's who I wanted to be. And it was because of Marche Rocket. And I'm going to be honored for us to kick each other's ass. And I know TJ sent me a specific message saying, hey, buddy, I hope your shoulder's okay, because we're going to test it this Friday. But I saw that, and I just started laughing because I've been wanting this matchup for a long time. And of course, it's a big hurdle. It's a David versus Goliath type of match. But all I know is I'm ready and I want it.
Red, Marche better watch out, because if he hits that chop the wrong way, there's a metal plate waiting for his fingers.
Seriously. I know. We were practicing chops, and one of the new people didn't know I had, this steel plate right there. And I saw his finger go from straight out to a little indented. So
you gotta watch that. You're like Superman. Don't go through the airport metal detectors. That's going to be a hard one to explain.
No, but I'm telling you, it's just one of those. It's one of those moments that I'm very excited about. This whole, season opener is what I'm pretty much thinking out. It is just, I don't know how else to say, but what the kids are saying, it's going to be straight fire. You know what I mean? Like from beginning to end, I'm going to get like 3 bags of popcorn and then get ready to kick some ass.
Yeah, we are, me and Stan Payne, we are gearing up the commentary for this one, because this is going to be one of those ones that people are going to look back at, and we're going to want to make sure we do it justice, because what you two are going to do in that ring Friday night is worth the price of admission. And there are some great matches happening in Franklin Park this Friday night. But every time I look at the card and I look at all the matches, from the main event to the return of Sky Blue, all the cool things CSW is planning this Friday night, I keep looking back to this match, because it's almost like a generational thing. Marche Rocket has led the charge of premier wrestling superstars in CSW for a long time. But over the last couple of years, it's Axel Rico country in Franklin Park. I mean, I remember the signs: if Axel loses, we riot. I mean, when you won your CSW title, I was there, and it was one of the loudest crowd reactions I've ever heard. Those fans were delighted, and you were there till the wee hours of the morning talking to all those people. Anybody that wanted to talk to you about it, you were there for the whole night. It was a magic evening, and now here it is. Marche, been doing it forever. You are hitting your stride, hitting your prime, coming back from injury. It might be, I don't know if Marche's ready to pass the torch, or you're just going to go grab it out of his hand.
Well, let's just say we're going to leave it all out there, because I know for a fact there's no, there's no hole in the Death Star with Marche Rocket. You just have to straight up go at it with everything you got and hope that, you break it down. And I may have a little target on my back, or on my shoulder, I should say, but I'm not going to let it stop me. I will fight him until my shoulder comes out of its socket. I'll maybe pick up my arm and start beating him with it if I have to. But I know, exactly like you said, I gotta, this is, November was my return. And now from here on out, I want that November of 2023 to be my worst Axel Rico. And I just need to keep getting better and striving and keep striding to get better. And that's what I want to do. And of course, Marche's the first one in the way. And even if I lose or win, I just know I'm going to give him everything I got. And I hope he does the same.
And you have to have eyes on the prize. I mean, you want your CSW championship back. Lycan has Leo Rush this month, but at some point there has to be an opportunity for everything you've endured.
I understand, but it's unfair because while I was helping out with music and entry and doing commentary myself when I was injured and all that, I became a fan of CSW, and like 6 to 7 months not being there, and I've been noticing the Rafael Quinteros, the pre-show, like Jack Valor, FXB, Lizard Man, like all these guys have been like stepping up. Like, unfortunately, it's one of those things that, of course, when I got out, a spot opened up, and people have been taking at it. I'm fighting back for my spot. So I don't want anybody, I don't want to have to, I want to earn my spot back. I don't want it just to be given, because at this point, a year ago, I was the champ and I deserve this, that, and the other. You know, I don't want to take away from absolutely anybody. If somebody wants to step up like Rafael Quintero or anybody like that, to me, I'll give them everything I got. But like, I just want it just like them. They've earned their spot where they're at CSW right now. I want to earn my spot back, if not where I was, higher, because the card keeps getting bigger. The people keep getting better. So I need to see how I fit with this new generation of Chicago style wrestling. And if I have to earn my spot, and then I got Conan, or if I have someone else, if I have TJ Steele, I'll wrestle whoever's got it as long as I earn that spot. I don't care about the championship belt. I am the workhorse of CSW. So what my job is to keep trucking and giving every show my best Axel Rico I can give them.
Well, we know how good that can be, and we look forward to that. Do you think that's the magic of CSW, is that when you go to training and you go to the school and you work in that room, in that building, just outside the Bossatorium, call it, is that what makes it magic? People that work their ass off there do get an opportunity because you came from there. You know, people like Miller, you know, everybody has kind of risen from there. You know, you've got a lot of young, you know, a lot of the young women athletes, you know, Maggie Lee, we've seen her at that training room before. You know, so many great young talents. And you're talking about the Lizard Man, Nathan Nile, and Jack Valor, and all these young people. Iniestra came from that ilk. Lily came from that ilk. You know, these are all people that are going other places and are champions.
Yeah, absolutely. And
is that the true magic behind Chicago style wrestling?
Well, I think
work hard, you get your shot.
Well, so like I've been, you know, just like everybody here, the beauty of Chicago style wrestling is that we can go to different places and let's, you know, but the thing is, you know, everybody goes to this, everybody's champion here, everybody, you know, they train their hardest for CSW. But the thing is, what I've noticed between different locker rooms and, you know, like, you know, with who you train with at this school, I see everybody at CSW wants it. The it. Like, I gave Moondog Greg Murray one of my pairs of shoes because Mustafa Ali got me my first pair of shoes, and he asked me, he's like, dude, I can see that you want it, and you can give these shoes back to me when you quit. And I still have them to this day. And I told Moondog that exact same thing, and he told me, I'll give them to you when I'm dead. I've been looking at Rafael Quintero train. I've been seeing all these people train, Lizard Man, Jack, all these guys that keep coming week by week by week. And I see that everybody wants it. And I think that's the factor that I think this locker room and these trainees have that's different than anywhere around the Chicagoland area or in all of wrestling. We want it. So if it's a show that needs this, we're going to bring it. If the show that wants that, we're going to bring it. So I think everybody here, including myself, no matter what the task at hand is, we are bringing it.
Well, that is absolutely no question. Red, Axel Rico is going to be taking on a man you know well. Can you offer any pointers to Axel, any inside scoop on maybe how to take down this particular Death Star?
No.
You can't be a Boston spy just once?
No.
You know, that's fair. That's fair. You know, see,
where does my loyalty lie?
That's fair.
You know that. You know that.
Yes. You know, thank you. You know what I mean? That just means, like I said before, there's no cracks in the armor. You know what I mean? See, you know your guy. He's one of the best in the world, and you see something in him, and Steve sees something in me. We're gonna butt heads. We're gonna hit helmets, man. That's what it needs to be.
I mean, first of all, I wouldn't pick a winner in this, and Steve always wants to do this shit.
100%.
Steve, again, is truly an agent of chaos and bullshit. Also
true.
Let me say this, so we don't go too far off. I commend you for one, realizing that even during your injury, you didn't do it on your own, that there were others that helped pull you through, especially your better half and now your fiance.
Yeah.
But you didn't quit. Again, being around for as long as I have, I saw some people that, guess what? They just quit.
Yeah.
You know, and it's easy to say, oh yeah, I got the drive, I got the determination. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's great to say that and easy to say that when everything is going well. But when you get that first injury, you know, major injury, you know, it's like, oh, this is different,
Yeah.
you know, and I commend you uh for staying active, but you realized that you couldn't get in the ring, but
Yeah.
there were other things that you could do to help the show go forward. And a lot of people forget that. You know, a lot of people, you know, when they get in the wrestling business, they feel, I've got to get in the ring. I've got to get in the ring. And
Yeah.
not realize that there's so much that goes on putting on a show, leading up to a show, the day of the show. And, you know, you could do those things. But a lot of people feel, you know, because there's no glitz and glamour, you know, your name's not being called, that
Mhm.
they don't want that part. So I commend you for staying in the business and realizing that you could help out and help others out
Yeah.
as you rehab.
Yeah.
And finally, again, for this Friday, um, I love it. Bring it all.
Yeah.
Bring it all. I will tell you, Marsha ain't gonna stop.
No.
You know, the crazy part is both of you are in line, whether you got a fucked up GM. You know,
Very
you
fucked up
guys,
GM.
you know, well, the last GM wasn't that goddamn better.
Oh,
So
it was definitely
uh
better.
um
I'm the pandemic GM.
he
Axel
never
Rico is a product of that GM reign.
Axel, he
Damn it.
never hired me. So
Hey, listen, sticks and stones. That's all I gotta say, boys. I'm gonna let you guys hassle your war off. But thank you, C. I know one of the things that really motivated me, like I kind of overheard through like different shows, a couple shows that we've been a part of, Steve, may it be Rocket Pro or Crash Tested. I thought about like in the past when, you know, other people would tell each other like, oh yeah, whatever happened to you know, insert whoever or whatever happened to, you know, like, oh, it's like, oh, I think they're, and I knew I like told myself, I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? I want to be like, you know, when somebody thinks of me, they're thinking, oh man, that guy is, you know, what insert A, B, and C that makes me, you know, in their brain, not like, oh, he was so good, or, you know, I don't want to be that. I want, if that's going to be me, it's because I put all my cards in, I went all in, and I have you know, leave a legacy. And so that's why when I came out first in November at CSW, the first thing that I said, exactly like exactly what you're saying, it's just, it's hard, you know, it's easy to say quit, you know, like, you know, you can take a break and, you know, whatever, but quitting's super easy, but getting back into it is just saying, I'll be back. You know what I mean? There's a difference between saying like, you know what, I'm done and it's going to be a while, but I'll be back. And I definitely feel like I am back.
okay.
And
Thank
we
you, sir.
are extremely glad that you are back. I could talk wrestling with Axel all night long, and there's more I want to talk about wrestling, but something that not everybody knows is the humanitarian side of Axel Rico and your work with animals, particularly dogs.
Yeah.
We see that, and I've seen, you know, the advertisements and, you know, some of the wrestlers at animal shelters with you. How did you
Yeah.
get involved in that, and what exactly are you doing?
Well, so back when I was in college, one of my first internships was at a no-kill shelter in Oak Park. And I kind of like fell in love with the people there. They were taking care of these, animals. I believe all animals, have souls. Like, I believe they're all wonderful spirits. They help us. Like, I've never lived without a dog, and I definitely feel like the one time when I didn't have a dog, because she was 18 years old and I loved her, I gave her all the love and care in the world. And, when she passed away, it hit me hard. And when I didn't have a dog for about 3 to 4 months, I felt it in my soul. I felt like I was missing something, because, of course, Axel Rico loves drop kicking people and all that stuff, but I do care. I care about others. I care about the people that I love. So when I found that internship, I kind of thought of it kind of like as like, oh, I just need it for a credit, whatever. But I ended up falling in love with helping people, find an animal to take care of or bring a home. And I kept doing that all throughout. I think I started my sophomore year of college. I kept doing it after I graduated. And then I thought once, I had a little bit of a following, I saw myself, because in Chicago. Sorry. Hello. Okay, sorry about that.
Yes, we're
But when I saw, like, because I'm not a big fan of the concept of money. I think it brings in greed. I think it changes people. I think so. I love giving away a lot of stuff. So when I thought, I'm making a little bit of money from promoters and shirts and stuff, but I prefer to grow myself as a business and helping people out at the same time. So I thought of the best of both worlds. And I came up with this concept of just, if you buy a shirt, I'm going to, or if you buy a 8x10, thank you for helping me promote myself. Like, you can go to the gym and somebody's going to say, oh, what's that? Who's that? Oh, that's Axel Rico. You should follow him. He's a great person. And then I get to donate, I think at the end of the year, because they just sent me a little thank you for the year. We raised about $2,500 for the Chicago Canine Rescue. So I found it as a win-win. And when I started, asking everybody, like, would this be important to you? Everybody started telling me these great stories, like, oh, I had a dog, I have 3 dogs here, and I thought, like, why don't we do this then? Because it doesn't hurt to help a cause, you know what I mean? Everything in this world, me and Lauren like to say, everything in this world is a scam. We just want to pick the scams that make us feel good about ourselves. So this is the type of thing, because it's not easy work. The people at where I help out directly, Chicago Canine, these guys, they help out with everywhere around the USA. My dog that we have now, her name is Maisie May. She was in a shelter near Louisiana, and a hurricane destroyed that shelter. So they took her, and they took a bunch of dogs, brought her to Chicago. We met her in June. We were going to go meet Lauren's family, and there was another family that wanted her. And we looked at each other. We're like, all right, we got to take her. And so it's just a great feeling helping something out. And also, like, if it helps me, you know what I mean? Anything. 'Cause I love making designs. I love, being artistic, and of course growing myself, because at the end of the day, $20, $50 to a good cause, it'll come back eventually. It's not going to change my life. I already have bills to pay for the rest of my life, and I sure as hell have medical bills that I'm going to pay for the rest of my life. But if I can help somebody or help something, put a smile on their face or make their day, that's all that matters to me. That's the biggest paycheck at the end of the day. That's the biggest paycheck that's going to help me feel better and get through the day, because tomorrow we got to wake up and do it again.
That is why I wanted to bring this up, because more people need to experience that kind of thing, because I think it not only makes a difference in your life, but it touches so many other people in such a positive way that it just kind of, it spreads it. And I think that's the kind of stuff that we need to spread right now, because boy, the world is sure an awfully tough place these days, but inspirational situations and people like yourself, give us all a little bit of hope. And I think it's amazing what you do.
Yeah, I love, Lauren's been working with all the Chicago theaters to help put up shows, creative ideas to help people. We're firm believers of making, what you're writing down or whatever into realities. That's my big thing. Like when I chose to do wrestling in 2017, it was the first time that someone, this is the thing that got me started into this whole mindset of pushing and becoming better and all that. I said, maybe, I should, I'd like to do it. And someone told me, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, not Nike intended, but like, what's stopping you? So every time, I post something on Instagram or something, I will always see somebody's like, oh, I used to ref. It was so cool. It's just go back. You know what I mean? Like, what if I like to now live with no what ifs? You know what I mean? Like, because there's already too many what ifs in this world. You know what I mean? There's too many decisions to be made. So I'm a firm believer of that. Like, why live with a what if? Just do it. You know what I mean? If you want to help out something to become bigger, you got to start it to begin with. If I can help this animal find a beautiful home and a happy family by giving them $50, I'm going to just do it. Because like, why think like, oh, somebody else will come along. Why don't I just do it, help somebody else out, and then feel good that I did something, instead of just hoping like, oh, I hope that went well, or like, I don't want to live with that what if. I want to step out there. I want to step out through the curtain. I want to kick some ass, high five everybody, make friends, and live in this moment, or whatever the heck this existence is,
That is one of those, that's a great mantra and a great mentality. Obviously Friday you start your wrestling journey in 2024. Where are we going to see you other than Chicago style wrestling this year?
Well, my first show, I had no idea what to expect, because what I was told on paper was I was going against this guy from Wisconsin who's been tearing it up. And then, of course, Acid Jazz. And you never know, because I've wrestled him about 4 times in my life, and every single time it's like wrestling Deadpool. You know what I mean? Like, you never know who he's going to be that day, what he's going to bring out. And then match got changed because of sickness. It was still Acid, but then all of a sudden Jimmy Blaze comes out, because this was part of POW Pro Wrestling, or POW Entertainment. And he goes like, well, we still want to make this a triple threat. And all of a sudden I started to hear Slayer, and he introduced Vic Capri. So my first match of the year was Vic Capri and Acid Jazz, just in a ring. This weekend I wrestled with most of the CSW trainees and some luchadors with wonderful people. So the year started off hot. And the fact that this Friday I have a checkmark bucket list match that I'm doing. So this year's already starting off great. Of course, continue with Galley Lucha Libre, because, we got to, once you start working, the things are going to come up. I'm going to try to make my way back to Dreamwave. I've been working with AAW still, CSW. I'm never missing a show ever again. Even if I have broken another clavicle or something like that.
Don't say that. No more broken clavicles. God help us all.
But I'm also leaving some time or leaving some dates open for whatever happens. You know what I mean? If doors are opening and and having hands coming in, I'm opening. I want some opportunities. I'm sticking to my normals. Of course, Janesville, Wisconsin's got my heart. We'll see what happens with Rockford. Who knows? There's so many shows around. That's the nice thing about Chicago and in the Midwest. And of course, my own promotion, Proving Grounds, has a bunch of shows this year. So let's just say I'm going to be busy, but of course, still leaving some doors open just in case some crazy opportunity comes around.
I still remember the first season of Proving Grounds. That was some of the most fun stuff that I ever got to do in this business. Nothing quite like doing commentary in an apartment with Joey Mayberry for the first time I met him.
Yep, that was you know, when the world was as crazy as it was, and you still had to get your artistic dreams out there, the amount of, you know, finding the true artists in this world was kind of eye-opening for me, because like a lot of people could have just said, why the hell would I go to your apartment and work with this little microphone and look at this horribly done recording, you know what I mean, of these wrestlers that look like crap, but you know what I mean? It was just wonderful.
It's
And
so
that,
much fun.
yeah, and that just became an idea that made a reality. And now we're on our second year running shows at anime conventions, and at this last one, we had a standing room only of almost 400, close to 500 people, and so it's crazy to think that just like a crappy rundown little YouTube show idea turned into an actual promotion, and like it feels crazy to think that I'm a promoter. You know what I mean? Like it's still, to me, it's hard to hear that like people have been reaching out like from all over the United States of America being like, can you book me onto your show? And I'm like, oh, you got to talk to the booker. Oh, right. Oh, oops. Sorry. My bad. Yeah, you're talking to the right person. My bad.
Hey, without Proving Grounds, I would never have gotten to meet one of my truly great friends in this world, your dad, Francisco Rico.
Yeah,
What a great human being that man is.
I know every time I leave for work, you know, for a wrestling show, he asks me, when are we coming back? When we, you know, he gives me a little, you know, he's always sipping something, and I was like, I don't know, man. Steve's pushing for you for Rocket Pro Wrestling, but that's all I can. I'm not, you know.
I want to sit with C-Red on one side and Francisco Rico on the other. I want that to be the Rocket Pro commentary team, because Francisco Rico, if you think Axel Rico is great, Francisco has been doing it since like World War II, I think. I mean, I don't know how old he is. Nobody really knows.
Yeah,
But amazing talent is Francisco Rico. I'd work with him any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
Well, I mean, whenever, man. He's always on speed dial, but I know he doesn't have a cell phone.
That's sometimes the crux of it. This Friday night, CSW presents season premiere. Axel Rico takes on Marche Rocket. It's a banner match for you, but it's a banner night for CSW.
Absolutely.
Right now, the role CSW is on, I think it's as good as it's ever been.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same way?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, when I was like just being, because, you know, there's a difference between, like, of course, when you're a wrestler or you're helping backstage, you see the show differently, because when I'm, you know, when I was getting prepped, when I had the championship or when I didn't have the championship, I was always just like, you know, prepping myself, because, you know what I mean? You have to be, the second the curtain's out there, it's like action, you know, and there's no cuts. So like I was very much focusing on myself, you know, drinking, staying hydrated, or doing push-ups, whatever. I was focusing on myself, because I knew I had to be, you know, like people were paying to see me or bring, you know what I mean? I had to give them my A game. But when I was able to sit back, and of course still busy, you know what I mean? Like making sure the lights work, making sure the right music or whatever. So I was still busy, but I was able to like see the promotion and finally see it through the eyes of like when I first started, you know, because when I first started, I just sat and just was able to watch the show and think like, holy crap, that's what I want to be. But when I finally sat down, like I said, I became a fan. Like the women's division at CSW is freaking awesome. The fact that we have probably the most like super talented and like maybe the biggest reoccurring roster of female wrestlers is kind of ridiculous. The pre-show, you know, battle royal and first match has, you know, starts to show off, you know what I mean? And now all the boys and girls know that, so they're pushing it even harder. from match 1 to main event, I just was just right here. Sometimes I'd miss my cue and people would be like, oh yeah, right. I gotta, sorry. Like, because I just became just such a big fan. And I think the addition of the IWTV, the commentary team, and really taking this seriously with, stories and feuds and stuff, I think it's really entertaining, and I can just sit back and watch it, and I'm happy to be a part of it. And I'm like, our fans are awesome, and they're just as hot and just as fired up as we are, because, I think everybody is super excited about being there Friday, to be there with the people, and like it's just like a Thanksgiving every single month,
100%.
just as many fights, just as much drama, just as much love. And then, of course, once everything's kind of calmed down, people still hang out till 3 a.m. and do nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things. And I'm just happy that, behind the curtain, in the crowd, in the ring, in the stands, like, everybody is just at 100% and pushing for the best work. And I think that's what makes, Chicago style wrestling just really awesome. And, the amount of people reaching out to myself and everybody training, saying like, how do I get a part of this? How do I, it shows that, like, we're being seen, and we're being seen as top level, like, not just that indie promotion that works at a bingo hall. Like, this is like Chicago style wrestling. We're not seen as like small. We're growing, and we're getting better and badder, I should say.
And that's a good thing to be, indeed. Axel, we know you got to get back to training, and we appreciate you taking time out and coming to us live from the Bozzatorium. You're a national treasure to have on this program. We always appreciate you stopping by, and we look forward to seeing you Friday night as you take on Marche Rocket, as we start another great year of wrestling at Chicago Style Wrestling.
I remember the first time that we did this show, and you interviewed Nick Aldis at the time. Was with NWA. It seems like an absolute eternity ago.
It does.
And then the second time, when I just became Chicago Style Wrestling champion, also feels like an eternity ago. I'm so happy that you're still doing this, and I'm so happy to still be a part of all of this. This is so freaking awesome, because, like I said, us artists and creative people got to get out there, but the thing we have to do is either hit play or hit together or hit the music, you know what I mean? So I'm happy that this is still going and still kicking, brother.
Well, thank you so much. And you'll still be the first wrestling person that stole my glasses as a character. And I will never forget that. One of my favorite moments ever.
The amount of editing I had to do for a feud that never happened, Steve. Ugh.
I wanted it so bad. It just crapped out on us.
I know. I remember my 2018 was shattered, or 2019. Whenever that was. I remember crying to myself because it was the first time I'd shaved my mustache in like years.
And it was supposed to be my fault that it happened.
And then, of course, when I sent in the video and all that, somebody forgot to do it or whatever. And I will never forget that moment.
I'm devastated even thinking about it. We had such a great story planned, and it just got shit canned. Oh, well. That's the business, right? Sometimes you win and sometimes you don't.
Yeah. Well, thank you, guys. Thank you, C. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate you. And, of course, whenever this, however this goes out, I'm sharing everything. And I can't wait for Friday. Super excited for everything from top to bottom, main event, all the things. I want to see everybody kill it this Friday.
All right. Axel Rico, you're one of a kind. Thank you, my friend. We'll catch you Friday night. Be good. Be safe.
All right. Love you guys. Have a good one.
All right. That is the one, the only Axel Rico. You can see him Friday night, as the graphic shows, live at Franklin Park. You got to love him, Red. You got him.
Yeah. Oh, I don't say I don't.
100% inspiration, that guy. While we're here, let's go over the card real quick, and then we'll wrap this package for the evening. A lot of great matches happening this Friday night in Franklin Park as we present season premiere. The Hate Keepers, as usual, are all kinds of over the place. Of course, what would be the main event is for the CSW Heavyweight Championship. Conan Lycan is our resident champion, and he is taking on the man of the hour, Leo Rush. And of course, well, we'll start there. Rian wants to start there, so we'll start there. That's my new favorite tag team. What Rian?
People's work problem. I can switch that over. Give me a second.
No, we'll start here. This is as good a match to start with as any. Tag team championship. Oh, and he's back. And Rian is faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful. Well, you get the idea. The man of the hour, Lio Rush, taking on Conan Lycan of the Hate Keeper, the Land Shark, for the CSW title. I have been feuding when I was GM and even now as a commentator and ring announcer. Conan Lycan, has been giving me crap for, almost a year and a half. This will be the first time that I'm rooting for our champion since he's had this title. I am hoping that he wipes the ring with the man of the hour, because he said in his promo today, he's not the man of the hour, he's the man of the year. And an hour is nothing to him. So Conan Lycan is ready for this moment. He has felt like he has needed to be measured for a long time. And Lio Rush, as you know, has succeeded everywhere he's been. So this is going to be a match. Red, how do you see this going?
Not good for Mr. Rush.
Think the Land Shark's going to take a bite out of crime?
I don't care. This is just one of those times where, more than ever, I think Lycan has something to prove. Here's this guy. He's traveled all over the world. And
New
been
Japan,
been on
NWA,
TV.
he's been everywhere. WWE.
So he wants to show not only Leo, but the entire world that he can hang with the best of them. And all that, how I feel. All that flippy shit goes out the window with one good hit, So that's all it's going to take.
But
for me.
That's the thing, though. Conan Lycan, for being a giant human, can do all that flippy shit.
He can, but I don't think he's gonna do all of that this time around.
You think ground and pound, the Land Shark's gonna keep it down, and you might be right. So you're picking Lycan.
Yeah.
We are in agreement, my good sir. Lycan wins this match. Another match, Rian just had it up. The tag team titles are on the line. Our new tag team champions, the Evil Sierra and Joey Jet Avalon, taking on the Hate Keepers, Shane Boucher and Jay Marston. And, we buried the hatchet, Joey Avalon and I. In fact, during the fracas that ensued at the season finale, I returned to him his shovel and said, go use it. And he did. And next thing you know, Sierra, Avalon, they are your tag team champions. And they're going to be good ones because she can beat anybody's ass that has on a pair of tights and laces up a set of boots. And Avalon is one of the hardest hitting, most productive workers working in the industry today. These people, between the two of them, they put 20,000 miles in travel last year wrestling. They go everywhere. They do everything at the highest of levels. And now you have the Hate Keepers, Marston and Boucher. They have been running roughshod in CSW for a calendar year. And they were the tag team champions and they slipped up. They're trying to get their titles back. But I don't think they have the stroke to beat the new champions. I think Sierra and Avalon win their titles back. But I think it's going to be a hell of an entertaining match.
See, this one is difficult to call.
Not as difficult as you think.
It is. Because, first of all, you keep forgetting I was there at the season finale.
You were there.
So, I love the Sierra Avalon team. But with the Hate Keepers, there's always more of them. Just because they're too advertised in this match. You know, do
You're
you
right. You know, we haven't heard anything about what Hollister's doing on Friday, so maybe he is the wild card.
so that's what I'm saying. So uh again, this is one of
Sugar's
those
a
matches.
bad man. You know that.
Yeah, yeah. But so this is one of those matches where Sierra and Joey have it in my heart. But if the Haykeepers win, I wouldn't be shocked due to shenanigans, Suge. Uh, so,
But you also
and
have to remember, Red, Avalon and Sierra, they specialize in shenanigans.
yeah, but again, I mean, the numbers game,
Numbers game. That makes sense. That makes sense. So that'll be a hell of a match. Another match that is being, I mean, obviously we talked all about Axel and Marche. That match, like I said when we were talking with Axel Rico, it's Marche Rocket, who has been the top dog in CSW for as long as I've been a part of it, and even long before that. And now you've got Axel, who has kind of taken the mantle of the fan favorite. You know, they love Marche, but there's just something special about the crowd when Axel Rico comes out. I can't put my finger on it. I mean, you were there. You saw the reaction when he made his triumphant return.
Yeah.
So it's electric. So this is one of those matches that, you know, Marche has seen it all, done it all. He's all day. Axel Rico is as good as a wrestler as there is right now working in this business. It's the irresistible force and the immovable object. It's going to be a collision. I don't know which one blinks. I can't pick this match, I don't think.
Well, I don't want to pick this match. But if you make me pick this match, you know I will go all day.
Yeah, I usually like to shit talk you here, Red, and pick opposite you because it would be very easy for me to think Axel could make magic with the amount of adrenaline running through his body. But Marche is the ultimate showman, the ultimate showstopper. It would be tough to beat him on your best day. So I can't pick. I don't know which end blinks first. It's too close to call. This might end up going to a time limit and be a draw.
It might be.
So
and I wouldn't be shocked.
Really hard to pick a match of this quality, but you got to come to Franklin Park and find out. In a match that was unexpected, Ice picked Vic Capri having his last match at CSW at season premiere. Obviously, in November, he was honored, accepted into the Hall of Fame. We had the big party. All the Windy City folk were there. We had the video package. He got his plaque. So he is a member of the CSW Hall of Fame. And he wants to end his CSW career taking on his beloved student, women's champion, the Bombshell, Shelly Benson. So I don't know what to think here. I know Vic wants to go out and have a match that is a memory that lasts forever. And you're fighting someone that you have put time and energy in to make them a successful athlete in this business. And Shelly had the greatest debut year I've ever seen. She's a champion now in a ridiculously short amount of time. And she has been a fighting champion. She has earned all of her stripes. But what do you see happening when you've got the man like the Ice Pick taking on the champ in Bombshell Shelly? She's not going to want to go lightly on her teacher. And I don't know if Vic wants to go lightly on her. This could be a very aggressive, violent match if it goes the wrong way. What do you think?
Think about it. He trained her, right?
100%.
He has told her, I believe, this is it, kid. This is the moment you've waited for. Because now we're going to find out what Shelly is made of. We know how hard Vic hits.
Hard.
We know how hard he chops.
Hard.
We know how hard he kicks.
Hard.
He's gonna bring it all. The question now stands: is Shelly gonna be able to absorb all of that and bring her own fire?
She is
I mean,
arguably the most popular attraction at CSW right now. The fans go wild when she comes out. So she'll have a lot of momentum on her side, but that first chop or that first kick or that first impact, how's she going to handle that? We don't know. Will Vic get a final victory to stamp the most impressive CSW career ever, perhaps? Or does Shelly defy the odds and send Vic into retirement with a loss? It's hard to understand. It's hard to believe.
again, you want to see, like, part of, and I hope what I'm saying makes sense. He has poured into her since she walked in the door, right?
Right.
Now he wants to see if she's ready for the rest of the world. So this will be somewhat of a measuring stick for her.
Is it graduation day for her? Is it like that?
So
Gonna be a hell of a match. What do you think? Who's gonna win?
I don't want to pick Vic based on he's the man, she's the woman. I will pick Vic based off of his years' experience, and he's still sore after what happened in November. He came that close. And to me, he should be the champion. And I just think he throws everything at Shelly. And at some point, it's just too much for her.
What I see is it gets down to brass tacks, and Vic has to go in for the kill. And because she's his student and he is fond of her, he can't do it. And she finds a way to turn that momentary pause into history on Friday night. Anything can happen, but that's the way I see it. So that it's going to be a hell of a match. It's nothing like it's ever happened. So this is going to be a new ground for us on commentary. I can't wait to see how it goes. Another announced match is, well, we've been talking about TJ Steele, and his faction is now called the Brass. So the Brass are in action as scumbag attorney Eric Schultz teams up with Metro Division champion Iniestra to take on the aforementioned Rafael Quintero that Axel said some nice things about, and Chicago sweetheart Missa Kate. Now, if you've been watching social media after the show, and I had been wondering about this for the last month, we didn't see Missa Kate at the after party. And we saw the video footage that she was brutally attacked by a bunch of hooded characters. Many of us assume that it was the Brass in hoods doing brass shenanigans, trying to take out the competition, but we don't know how healthy Missa is going to be. And, what is Rafael going to have to do to beat these two members of the Brass? And I'm sure the deck is going to be stacked. I'm sure TJ Steele will make random stipulations and do heinous things. So I don't know how this goes. I'd like to pick Rafael Quintero and Missa, but I don't know how healthy Missa is going to be. And I don't know what kind of shenanigans TJ Steele is going to do to tilt the table to the way of the Brass.
Man, Missa is going to whoop they ass.
Well, she's got to be pissed because they beat the The
Think about
bejesus
it.
out of her.
So she's had 2 months to recover, right?
Fair.
Schultz ain't shit.
Come on, he's all right. He's not.
Schultz ain't, that should be, since he wants to constantly put shit on his tights, Schultz ain't shit should be his new tag.
I'd buy that T-shirt. I would buy that if he comes out with a Schultz ain't shit T-shirt. I'm all over that.
Fuck it, I'll put it out. Shit.
You should put it out, right? Yeah, make a
Hey,
little
I still got connections, goddammit.
Make a few dollars. Sabbatical connections.
Right. And Nestor ain't shit. It ain't like he went out there and had a fair contest and walked away with that damn championship. Again, you acting like I don't watch the product. And
That's
I
fair.
do. Again, both of them ain't shit. The brass ain't shit. All of them ain't shit. What you gonna do, brass? Not a damn thing.
Oh man, see right
Um,
pulling out the brass on the power hour. I love it.
I don't give a fuck what they gonna do.
So we're in agreement. We think Quintero and Misakate are gonna take care of business over the brass.
Hell yeah, her more than him. Not saying Raphael is not competent enough.
He's so good. He is so
But
fucking good, that kid.
everybody knows Missa is so sweet, right?
Yeah. No,
Fuck that.
she might be sweet, but
She
she'll
throwing
kill.
that shit out. Friday night, she throwing that shit out the window.
Yeah, you want to see a dead body? Misakate will show you a few. So that's a match that's happening. And to stay on the brass, in another match that was just announced today, we have got two other members of the brass in Jax Johnson and Ryan Matthews. This is Ryan Matthews. He will be teaming up with Jax Johnson. They are Team Sex A, and they will be joined by former CSW Women's Champion Heather Reckless as they take on former tag team champions Big Mood and Jack Moody and Mateo Valentine, who will team up with Steve Boz. So you've got Moody, Mateo, and Boz taking on Jax, Matthews, and Reckless. Damn. That's a fun match. Where do you think that goes, Red?
Super kicks around for everybody for the brass.
You think the B to the O to the Z is going to just have an endless supply of super kicks, huh?
Super kicks, baby. Just super kicks. The three of them, I mean, Heather, I guess she's a woman. First of all,
she's the devil's favorite princess. She's evil to the core.
I get that.
Is Cypher going to show up and wreak havoc because
But here's the problem. Here's the problem. And she should think about this, right? You aligned yourself with the brass. And now you think that since you aligned yourself with him, but he just put you in the match against Jack Moody, who's unpredictable.
Mr. Infinity and himself.
Valentine, Mayo.
Yes, Queen.
Who will scratch your eyes out quicker than the fucking alley cat.
He will put the peach to good use.
And Steve Box.
B to the O to the Z.
Like, really? The guy that he put you in this match and you thought you about to get your head kicked off, chick.
So you're saying the brass is not going to fare well here either?
The ass, brass, no, they won't. No, they won't.
And does this mean Heather Reckless is part of the brass now? Has she aligned herself with TJ Steele and his insanity?
Well, that's the kind of shit she does. So I wouldn't be shocked. But even if she didn't, I still want to know why you put me in this match if she hasn't. So
it's going to be wacky. It's going to be wild, and it's happening this Friday in Franklin Park. Another match that will be very interesting, and it's one of the ones I'm looking forward to. You got Uncle T in Solomon Tupu, formerly the Dragon of the Pacific, Gatekeeper, whole new Tupu. If you haven't seen Tupu lately, you ain't seen Uncle T. There he is. Uncle T, mean business. Dishing out those dollars. Pimp with a capital P, taking on the dad bod demigod, one of the most electrifying, enigmatic performers in wrestling today, Joey Mayberry. This match is going to have everything. Remember on Saturday Night Live, you had Bill Hader doing Stefan? This is going to have everything. That's what this is. I want Bill Hader to cut a promo on this match because midgets with orange cones. I mean, this match is going to have everything. I can't wait to see it because I have no idea what to expect. This is going to be wild.
Well, I'm picking Uncle T.
It would be hard to beat. It would be hard to pick against a man with his pedigree, his size, his skill set, and his flair for the dramatic plus. He's a member of the Hate Keeper, so you know he's not rolling alone.
Yeah, but not only that. Joey hasn't been the same since he lost somebody. You know,
She found now. They found her.
but that's in the back of his head. You know what I'm saying?
Do you think Doom Montgomery is going to show up and interfere in this match and try to kidnap Jillian again?
I don't, first of all, I wouldn't be shocked. Would you? Two, I mean, that's the shit that Doom does. But Joey still has a grudge there. You know what I'm saying?
Huh?
And in the back of his head, he has to wonder, is she still safe? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I'm hoping she's at ringside, so he'll keep an eye on her. But I get what you're saying.
But think about it. So what's the stop? And God forbid this happens. But here's a scenario. There, Mayberry and Tupu are wrestling, right?
Right?
What's to say the Hate Keepers, Suge, for example, doesn't come and haul her off?
It's been done before, so I guess it could possibly happen. I think this is Joey's year, myself. I think this is the year that Joey Mayberry breaks through the glass ceiling and might even become champion. And I think his road to that gold might start here. Tupu is as good as it gets, and if it's on an even playing field, it's going to be a hell of a match. They will make magic. But like I said, if the deck is stacked, it could be the same old song and dance. But it's going to be a hell of an entertaining show. That's for damn sure.
Yeah.
And then our final match of the evening, I think it'll probably be semi-main because it's such an impressive matchup. We've got Maggie Lee, who has become one of the new fan favorites in Franklin Park, taking on the returning Sky Blue from AEW, coming from, Dynamite, Rampage, Collision. She's been on them all. She just beat Chris Statlander. Did I say Strat? Meant Statlander. Sky Blue's been on a roll, but she's also been a little, I don't know, in the head since the Black Mist from Julia Hart. So I've been saying this all month. We don't know what Sky is coming home. Is it going to be the Sky that put CSW on her back and became one of the indie darlings and one of the fan favorites for life? And when she made her speech that she was walking away, got one of the loudest, largest standing ovations I've ever seen in Franklin Park. She's done great on television. $1 million, but we don't know which one's coming home. Maggie Lee called her out on social media. The video was fired. Maggie Lee is ready for this match. She wants this match. But I cautioned her. We don't know this Sky Blue. This Dark Sky era, we don't know anything about it. But we're going to find out Friday night.
So I love the way you put it versus. So I've been calling her Sky Black, not Sky Blue. There ain't shit blue on her.
Black now, so you think so?
So, but I like Dark Sky better.
Well, we've seen Dark Sky before. One time at Berwyn's Eagles Club, she came out a little different, dressed a little different, made up a little different, wrestled a little different. And I coined it then. I said, I don't ever want to see Dark Sky again.
Well,
and she's back.
I will tell you. Now, again, you don't know because Friday hasn't happened.
That's right.
I believe you are going to get Dark Sky. I think all the fans that are expecting Sky Blue, and when her music hits, they're gonna, yay, woo. No, she gonna shit on the fans. She gonna shit on you. She gonna shit on Maggie Lee. Now, I understand Maggie is prepared, but
Maggie's
this
on a
dark,
roll too.
but understand this Dark Sky. I wouldn't be surprised if there's dark mist in her future.
Oh, you're thinking that maybe there's a shenanigan or two happening at the
I
hands
wouldn't,
of Ms. Blue.
I wouldn't be shocked because we've been seeing what she's been doing on TV.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, and I mean, let's not act really like AEW, WWE, and TNA, like they don't pay attention to the indies, because they do. Hence, Sky Blue, Dark, whatever, she's now where, right?
Right.
So, do you think she's going to take a chance and embarrass Miss Hart and her tutelage by coming to a show on Friday night and losing?
Oh, no.
No,
So
no.
you're picking Sky Blue,
Dark Sky.
Dark Sky.
Yes.
I don't know. Sky is she's a Chicago favorite. Maybe she'll have a change of heart when she walks through the curtain and gets the warm welcome. But
what's the weather Friday?
it's going to be a little cold. It'll be a little chilly.
Who the hell getting a warm welcome in Chicago?
Well, that's fair. That's fair. I don't know. It would be real easy to pick Sky Blue because of who she is and where she's been. But I've been watching Maggie Lee for a while now, and if there's anybody that could sneak out a victory in a match like this, it's her. But
this ain't got nothing to do with where she's been and who she's. No, she's different, totally different. So everything that we've ever thought we knew about Sky is out the window.
that's true.
So Maggie can only go off of footage. But the difference is you can only study so much footage. It's a totally different ball game when somebody comes in there and you're expecting a fastball and all they're doing is throwing straight curves at you. So
it's going to be a hell of a match. It's going to be a hell of a night this Friday night. Get your tickets if you still can. It's going to be a little chilly. Don't be discouraged. Come on out. Great food, great beverages, great wrestling. It's going to be a hell of a night. You get to see Sky Blue from AEW. You get to see Lio Rush from all over the place. You get to see Marche Rocket and Missa Kate from NWA. There's a seminar early on in the day there from 3:30 to 5:30. You get to go on. You get to meet Lio Rush, and he'll give you some pointers and some things that they do at those seminars. So it's going to be a hell of a Friday night in Franklin Park. Don't miss it. I want to thank our guest tonight, Axel Rico, for being fantastic as always. We wish him well this Friday night. Want to thank Rachel for telling us great knockout stories, getting us ready for the new season. Want to thank Rion for doing a great job on the pictures tonight, as always. We are looking forward to the return of TMA with bated breath, and we'll see him as our favorite fight ref, hopefully, in the near future in Homewood. Red, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you on a Tuesday night. I really appreciate it. Axel Rico said some nice things about us and our humble beginnings to now, and the fact that somebody out there thinks about something like that and says it kind of reaffirms for me that maybe we're doing some good work here. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Rion, Rachel. We wish PX was here, but he had other business to attend to tonight. We'll get him next week, where our guests are the evil genius, Aaron Xavier, and SCW Women's Champion, Angel, as they take over the Power Hour to talk about Arctic Takedown, which there's a lot on the line. Cody versus Xavier. Someone's going to get to name.
Somebody's going to be champion,
Huh?
and somebody's going to be able to name the new GM.
So Creed versus Xavier. Winner picks the new president of SCW. The stakes can't be higher, and they have big plans because they believe they're going to win. So that's next week on the Power Hour. Thanks for watching. Thanks to FreakNet Studios. We love you, Fourth Mother Box. And thanks for watching tonight. Be safe out there. It's cold. Be good to each other, and do me a favor and hug your loved ones, because you just never know. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.